Well, it's been at least a year since we've sat together like this, and it's been an interesting year.
Yeah, gotta say that.
And so, what for you has been the most dramatic thing for you about the time since we've talked last?
The most dramatic.
The most impactful on you?
Okay, I think this past year I have had an opportunity. I've taken the time to really sit and ponder and think about things. Think about, things that I have believed all my life, and sort of looked at them and seen if they've changed any. Seen if they've still hold true. Just not questioning my faith, but examining my faith, and finding that it's good to go, that it's a comfort to me, and I think there's reasoning for that comfort. I mean, it's not just something I say. I can feel the comfort of prayers. I can feel the comfort of Christ in my life. Some things I have found I have been, first of all, I had to admit that I have been quite judgmental in my life, and I look at what judgment does to people, and I guess I'm glad that I have decided, as God has told us, that He is the judgment person, and we don't need to bother ourselves with trying to judge people.
Yeah.
And so that's been very uplifting for me. That okay, I don't have to judge anyone now, and I shouldn't have been judging people all along. And so, it's something I've had to pray about and ask forgiveness for, and it makes me very happy to take that part of my persona and watch and work on it. So I'm still working on being a good person and being a better person, and so I think that's probably the most impactful thing. I've just had time. I've made myself take the time to look at myself and see how I could improve, to see how I could implement the Christian life more into my life. And one thing I've come up with is that, and toward the judgment thing, is we are so hard on ourselves. We live in such a society where everyone's hard on everyone else. And frankly, judgmental, although a lot of people say, no, I'm not judgmental, even though they try not to be. It's hard not to be judgmental, but what I was saying is, why should we be judgmental of other people? Why be so hard on them? We are so hard on ourselves that it doesn't make sense to go out and try to be hard on everybody else. I need to take care of my own business and not judge the way others do things. And I found that by being that way, I'm more loving, I'm more accepting, and it's been a very good look back at my lifetime this past year.
One of the things, and you and I have seen each other over the last year. We've had lunch together, and I've been able, and my wife and I have been able to sail with you and Mark some. And one of the things that, as we've gone along through the year, there have been some times when the fatigue of all this has just been overwhelming. Can you talk some about, you mentioned the other day, just being tired of being tired?
That's true. When I first took the chemotherapy for the first 6 courses, by the time I was done with that 6th course, I just wanted to stay in bed forever. I just didn't think I would ever have any energy again. I did get my energy back, and I did. That's when we did a lot of traveling. This past year that I've had all this time to think, we've also done a lot of traveling. And, starting out in January of last year, I had trips scheduled in and places we were going to go and who we were going to see. And this year, I don't even know if I'll make a trip. I just am so tired. I just can't get over I've been taking chemotherapy for 3 years straight now, and it takes a toll on your body. It's poison. I have had some great days and some great trips, and I just make myself do things, but the overwhelming tiredness is unbelievable. And I feel bad that I don't have the energy I used to. I feel bad. I mean, that's ridiculous. It's just the way it is. So I have to accept that, and my husband has been great with that. And I've noticed with being tired, you have to give up a lot. There are things that you wouldn't think anything about going to do, like hopping out to lunch with somebody, or going over to their house at night, and playing cards or games, and which was something we used to do. And now it's become a special thing that if I can get myself up and go do these things, occasionally I just have to say, no, I can't do it. And it's sad to see my life being spent more inside the house every day than trying to get out and doing things. Now I used to do something every day, whether it was just a lunch with somebody or going shopping or whatever. But now I don't even try to go shopping. I have to cross it off my list of things that's what I like to do. I haven't even participated much in decorating the house for Christmas this year. I'm that tired. We did put something, it's all on Mark and Jordan to make Christmas for us. And that's always been my job, to make Christmas for them, to make it happy and make it special. And now I'm just like, yeah, go ahead and put up a tree. Yeah, put some ornaments on it.
How do you make that transition from having spent your entire life as a caretaker, as a nurse, as the one who does Christmas for them, as the one who drops off burger cookies for your pastor, and that sort of thing, to letting people take care of you? How do you make that transition?
I think that you finally just have to do it. I don't think there was much of a transition. I just think it was one day I said, forget it. I just can't do as much as I used to do. And so I don't, I feel bad sometimes because I don't do anything, that I'm being too much on Mark and too much on Jordan. And so sometimes I'll make myself go do something just to make me think, okay, I'm not totally helpless. But the tiredness just makes you have to say, no, I can't do this. And, you hope that the people understand. You know, that you're not withdrawing from them. You're not trying to say, no, I don't want to do anything with you anymore. It's just a thing of really self-preservation, I guess. I have to take care that I don't go out. And then I'm no fun, not the fun I used to be, but at least I'm there sometimes. I do get out and I enjoy it still. Now I guess when I go out and I don't enjoy it, that'll be another stage that I'm going through. So I think I'm looking at things as stages, you know, things that are probably maybe being taken away from me as the cancer goes on or the chemo goes on, I would say. I'm just flowing along with it, and this is what this chemo does. And since I've been having it this long, I would expect that I'm not going to be able to have the same life I had, even though I have not been affected by the cancer much, because still my disease is little tiny tumors all over the place rather than one big lump. You know, and if I had one big tumor someplace, it would be doing a lot of things to me. Probably making me short of breath or giving me a lot of fluid in my tummy where I didn't want to do anything but just sit down. So I haven't had some of those bad side effects that possibly I will be getting as time goes on. But it's just, you can just see some of your life being taken away every once in a while. I can't do that anymore. I can't do that anymore. But I have to look at what I can do and go for that.
It sort of raises the question that we had talked some about before, about, you know, what's it like living, you know, sort of under the shadow of this? You've spoken about the different kinds of chemo you've undergone, and getting to the end of the standard chemo, and now looking at whether or not you'll do experimental chemotherapy. It's almost like you're, not even almost, you're always under the shadow of this thing.
Yeah, always, every day. You know, even when I was in my 18 months of being cancer-free before, you know, after that first bit of chemotherapy, and the surgery, that made me cancer-free until exactly 2 years later. So that first 2 years, I thought about it every day, even though I was disease-free. You know, you can't get out from under the fact that you have cancer. And this comes around eventually to the fact that I'm a nurse and I'm a patient, and whether they have been compatible. And sometimes they are compatible and sometimes they're not. And see, right now, I'm seeing, okay, this is the last drug I'm taking is the one it's the only one left that's approved for ovarian cancer. And as soon as that stops working, then I'll go into the experimental clinical trials. But that may not be what it is at all, but because I'm a nurse and have seen it so much, I know the normal course, but I don't know that I'm going to be the normal course. And that's another thing that gives me hope. I mean, God will call me when God will call me, not when I say, okay, all right, I've had this chemotherapy and I've gone through 2 clinical trials. Okay, I'm ready to die now. You know, that may not be what's going to happen, although nurse-wise I think it is, but as a Christian, I do not know when that time will be.
Well, you've spoken of your faith giving you hope, and you've spoken of how Mark's and Jordan's love for you gives you hope. What other things have helped make this livable and beyond livable, the quality of life that you seem to have had during all this time?
Well, I think of course, your friends, besides your family, your friends are the ones that keep giving you hope. I can remember when I first had cancer, what I've been trying to do all along, and this is something I've thought about this past year too, I am so intent on trying to take away the pain from everybody else of my leaving, of my death. I know that's going to make people sad, and I don't want to make people sad. And so I keep trying to tell them, I'm going to die here. You know, prepare yourself. Prepare yourself. I'm going to die. And because I just think that they can start preparing themselves. And then I'll say, see you later, or I'll make some reference jokingly about, I won't be here much longer. And they'll say, oh, shut up. You know, they'll just, you know, and they won't take that from me. And that's good. Although I think they're not listening to me, I want them to say, yes, yes, okay, I'm preparing myself. I know you're not going to be here long. But I've come around to like the, oh, shut up, you'll be here a while longer. Don't write yourself off.
Well, I do want to remind you that the first time we sat down to talk, about a year and a half ago, you said, I won't be around after Christmas. And that was not this Christmas, it was last Christmas. And I said to you, well, I'm going to be praying that you're going to still be around. And
here I am.
Here we are. Now, I'm not going to take credit for that, but I do hold out in my own heart the hope that next Christmas you and I will be going, well, this is our annual sit down.
Christmas talk, yeah.
Yeah.
Well,
we can do the Kathryn and Stephen Christmas special.
that sounds good.
Now, when we first started this process and started talking about doing a filming and went to Robert with it, it was because you were finding that in support groups or wherever that people had difficulty hearing what you were trying to say about your own process. If there was something that you still wanted to be able to say to anyone living with cancer or the people who love them living with cancer, as we've gone through this process and you've, I don't want to say matured exactly in that process, but is there anything else that you found you'd really want to say to someone out of this experience?
I think that, and I said this the last time, so I haven't come across anything new, but to actually be honest with your family members and with your friends. You know, say the cancer word. Sometimes nobody wants to say cancer because they equate it with death, but so many things, so many cancers these days are becoming curable, or extensions of life are so much better than they used to be. But I think that honesty about the disease, if you don't have one of those diseases that's going to be, you know, chemotherapy, radiation therapy, then you should be fine. You know, talk about it. You know, say, I don't have the kind of cancer that's going to be cured. I know that I'm going to die of ovarian cancer if I'm not killed in an accident or something first. And I think that's what has been so comforting, is that Mark and I can talk about anything. You know, we'll see something on a TV show, and later in bed, it seems like it's always, you know, lying in bed that we'll start talking. Mm-hmm. I don't know if darkness makes it easier for us to talk or what, but we do a lot of time talking in bed if something is brought up on that day that we can't, that is stimulate our minds to think of things. But I would still say, tell everybody, get everybody to pray for you. Get your wills done.
Yeah, you spoke earlier when we had lunch Thursday about taking care of things, getting the wills and stuff, and there's a certain kind of honesty in doing that.
Yes, yes. When you start getting your wills done, you know, you're on your way. Mm-hmm. that's what people think. You know, I don't want to get the will done. I don't want to have a will. But that is so important to your family. You know, you have to think beyond yourself sometimes with cancer. Everything's focused on you, or could be, and you don't only get taken care of, but you have to take care of them for when you're gone. It doesn't mean that you're going to do everything. I mean, like, I'm not cleaning out my closets for them. They're going to have to clean out my closets. But I am thinking, you know, we have thought of the will. We've got that signed. I do know which hospice I want to use and what kind of hospice I want. So that's good. So I've decided, you know, I want to die at home. I don't want to die in the hospital. And when I'm dying and taken care of, and the hospice is taking care of me in my own home, I want still my friends to come over and visit with me. You know, I don't want it to just be, and that's another reason I want to die at home. It's so much easier than having everybody have to go to the hospital and all that stuff. But I want them to come and talk with me and visit with me and get used to the idea that death is a normal function of life. And that's, I'm trying to think of what else I've done. Oh, now what I'm doing also is trying to decide on one little thing that I might want to give to each of my friends, you know, just for them to remember me. Am I being do I think of myself too highly that I think that anybody would want something of mine? But I mean, I'm just talking about little things like a little teddy bear or a piece of jewelry or something like that, that I would like them to have. You know, they can go throw it away, but it feels good to me for me to have looked at my things and thought, oh, so-and-so would like this. And they don't ever have to look at it again or anything. But if they were to take it and wear the jewelry or whatever, I just think that'd be cool. I think that they would be thinking about me and would think about me up in heaven and remember the good times that we had. And so that's all in all the things that have happened this past year, you know, moving from, okay, I'm going to die. I think I've just had more time this year to think about things leading up to death and things that are making me comfortable and that will make them comfortable. I realize I cannot let them feel, I cannot get them to not hurt. Mm-hmm. I mean, that's what I'm trying to do. And I just realized the ridiculous of it. People are going to cry. People are going to miss me. And I feel bad that I can't say back, I'll miss you too. Because I don't know that, I mean, I know down here the people left behind will be missing me, and I don't know what I'm going to be doing. I don't know if heaven's going to be so glorious. I don't miss any of my friends. I don't know what the thoughts will be, how capable of thought. Well, I mean, I know we're capable of thought in heaven, but I just don't know if it'll be about all the people back on earth or not. But anyway, just I don't know if I'll be able to see them wearing that little piece of jewelry or whatever. But it's been fun for me to think about who would like what, and that brings comfort to me.
And so one of the ways that you might say to folks who are caring for someone with cancer or who are friends with someone with cancer is when they say to you, here, I'd like for you to have this, or I'd like to say this to you, to not avoid that, to receive the gift of the jewelry or the moment of saying goodbye, of taking the time to just say, I've really enjoyed our friendship.
Yeah.
That trying to push that away really is not taking care of you properly.
Right. I think that was definitely what I wanted when I first started this filming is, it's okay to say, I'm going to be leaving you before we thought. And I know I've been hanging on for 5 years now, and people are like, okay, get on with it. They're tired of hearing me say things like that. But I think it is definitely getting nearer that time. And these thoughts that I'm having are appropriately timed now. Maybe they weren't back then, but they're certainly appropriate now. And it is a gift to me when they say, yes, I would like something from you, and I remember this about you, and this makes me recall that. So I would love that gift that you're offering to me.
And I want to say to you in something that I will hopefully get to say privately, but in a more public way, how much I appreciate your sharing this journey and letting me be a part of it. And I will miss you when the time comes. And until then, I'm just going to make your life a living hell. But I want you to know how much I appreciate and how grateful I am for you and for Mark. And yeah.
Yeah, I appreciate that.
Yeah, thank you.
And I think that I have really enjoyed having somebody that I can talk to, that understands, that can say, you're full of yourself, or yes, whatever, to go through it with me. To me, I guess I haven't put that thought together, that I'm sharing my last times with you, and I chose you to do that.
Thank you for letting me be your pastor.
Yeah, it's been enjoyable.
And he's going to have to call cut now, or I'm going to cry.
Okay. I hope you like this episode, and I hope to see you next time.